So I forgot. I have this fucking shirt. Let's go. Let me refresh the Twitch.
Oh yeah, I hear it now.
You have the Sims music? It's very calming. You're playing the Sims music?
Like,
And we are live. Hello, everyone, and apologies for the delay. But we are here. We're back. It's been a while, but we are finally ready to start our amazing Magpie charity event for the Trevor Project known as Magpie Madness.
Madness.
Madness. Madness. I am Omar, aka Tailweaver, pronouns any all, and I am joined by the fantastic cast of players and GMs that you've seen on this channel before and will be seeing a lot more. So please let's give a warm welcome to Travis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Travis, he, him. You'll see me on my gamer tag Zendaric or OMG It's Travi, and a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited to get back into our third annual Magpie Madness.
Awesome. And then not a new face to the channel, but you'll be seeing a lot more of him. Please, everyone, I would like to reintroduce Luis Miguel, aka LM.
Thank you so much, Omar. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, no, of course, of course. So, in this special edition of Storyboard, the frame by frame into the metagame, we are going to dive in exactly what Magpie Madness is, some details on the amazing charity that we're raising money for, the Trevor Project, and then show some clips from last year. But before we do that, I want to go over some exciting news and some rules. So, we are going to be giving away amazing prizes courtesy of Magpie Games, and it will be full-on sets of all their latest TTRPGs like Mask and Root, Urban Shadows, and all you have to do to enter is no purchase necessary at all. You can simply just, if you're watching on Twitch, there is, if you look at your Twitch points, you will see that there is an option called sweepstakes entry. If you just submit 250 of those points by watching, you would be able to get one entry into the sweepstakes. And then at the end on our last stream, which is on the 26th, I believe, but we may have a couple more afterwards. But on our last stream and on our website, we'll be posting it as well. We will announce all the winners, and there can be multiple winners. We have lots of prizes courtesy of Magpie to give away. But for a little extra, if you donate $5 in increments of $5, rounding down, so 5, 10, 15, you will also be able to enter in. And you can enter in as many times as you want, though you would only win one prize. So once again, no purchase necessary. Just watch, share, and redeem those points on the channel. Or you can go to, well, you'll see it on the screen right here. It is a QR code that will take you directly to our charity page. So our charity page, just to make sure I have it right, it's give.thetrevorproject.org/Magpie Madness. Once again, give.thetrevorproject.org/Magpie Madness. There, just enter in your email address and your contact information. Go ahead and make that donation, and we will throw in your name, as many as in those increments of 5, to win these awesome prizes. And then, of course, this is all for the charity, the Trevor Project, which is something near and dear to all of our hearts. Every year, we do this charity stream because the Trevor Project is an amazing, now worldwide organization that helps LGBTQIA youths from being homeless, from needing food, needing water, needing the basic needs that we all have and sometimes even take for granted. So please, if you have it in you, please donate at give.thetrevorproject.org/Magpie Madness. Every dollar counts no matter what, and know that it goes a long way of helping out such a marginalized group. I myself have had the awesome privilege to work for the Trevor Project in my years, and I love everything that they do and everything that they represent. So we are going to be playing games in this Halloween spooky season. And as our tagline is, scary good games for a scary good cause, as we dive into that. So I'm super excited. But enough about all that. I am going to start us off with, well, what is Magpie Games and what is a Magpie game in Powered by the Apocalypse? Well, LM, who's joining us this time, is an expert when it comes to Magpie Games. He is a professional game master and staff member over there, and we have some questions to ask as he can explain exactly what Magpie Games are, what Powered by the Apocalypse is, and his tips and tricks on playing. So, LM, how are you doing today? And what can you tell us about Powered by the Apocalypse and Magpie?
Yeah, so Magpie Games is a phenomenal company that is CEO'd by Mark Diaz-Truman and Marissa Kelly. They started Magpie Games way back in 2011, and their concept was to bring new stories and experiences to the gaming industry. And it honestly was something that when they would go to Gen Con, which is one of the biggest tabletop role-playing game conventions in the country, they would honestly go out there and just run and demo games the entire time. But after enough years and, having the third co-owner, I believe, is Brendan Conway, he was also able to kind of come together with them, and that's how they were able to grow into a dedicated team with a lot of different like-minded individuals. And that's the reason why they're able to produce these awesome, unparalleled gaming experiences that nurture really like healthy and inclusive communities. Games like Masks, A New Generation, created by Brendan Conway, games like Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, that had a lot of partnerships, but also was heavily developed and co-written by Brendan Conway. So Powered by the Apocalypse, before I start explaining all the different games that Magpie Games creates, Powered by the Apocalypse is a 2d6 system that is rules light, but is narrative heavy, and it follows the fiction. So if you are playing a character and you wanted your character to do something in the fiction, all you have to do is really describe how they're doing it. And that's what really triggers the mechanics, as opposed to playing more traditional systems like Dungeons and Dragons, where your character is more of a bunch of like different moves and stats, and the DM will really be asking you when to make these rolls. It's a little bit opposite. It's more you're embodying the character and you're role playing, and in order for you to do something, you have to actually take those actions. You don't just kind of call out the move. So Powered by the Apocalypse also lets you add more than just 2 6-sided dice. It usually has a stat or a trait, which all the different games have different names for them. But essentially it's a number that is attached to a bonus to a dice. So you'd roll 2d6 plus. If there's no bonus, it's just a flat 2d6. So if you are used to playing games like Monopoly or Yahtzee, you're already ahead of the game. So you know how many dice you're playing with. But back to Magpie Games, they are a awesome, they're not really indie anymore. They've kind of grown out of that category. They have done a lot of great partnerships with other games like Leader Games to create Root, the role-playing game. We have also just recently, Magpie Games has also recently partnered with Fallen London, which is a phenomenal web browser game that is now going to also be sprawled into a TTRPG. And just recently at Gen Con this past year, the name of the book and the tip of my tongue starts with a T. Do you by any chance remember the name, Omar? It's going to be one of our newest games coming out, based on the Napoleon Wars, where you have dragons.
Oh yes, it is
Terramir. Such the T. I'm so sorry. I'm blanking right now. But yes, there's also all this to say that Magpie Games is a phenomenal game studio that really puts safety first. So a lot of their games almost always have safety tools in mind, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, that's Magpie Games and Power of the Apocalypse. And I believe, if I remember correctly, just one quick second. It left my mind. Once it comes back, I promise I'll bring it up.
Are you talking Temeraire or Temeraire? I feel like I'm butchering it, but Temeraire.
That's the one.
Temeraire, yes.
Temeraire? All right, Temeraire. There we go. Beautiful. Yes.
But awesome. Yeah, that's an amazing... all these different games and systems are so cool, and it opens up a whole new realm of different games in the classic D20 dice-based systems like Dungeons Dragons, Pathfinder, Starfinder. It really, I think in this new day and age, we've seen a lot of indie and new systems just flourish. And now more people than ever are jumping into this world of tabletop role-playing games. But I would love to just jump in and start chatting about the actual games. Travis, so you've played in many and run many PBTA Magpie games for some time now. What are your favorites that you have kind of jumped in?
Oh my goodness. Well, I love, as LM described, how roleplay heavy they are. And I have two. They were that we were actually just talking about before this stream started. So ultimately, my favorite one is Urban Shadows. And that one is fantasy, modern fantasy, urban, shadowy realness. It's sort of like True Blood. It's sort of like gothic and fun and modern. And you just get to like live out your fantasy as a fairy, a vampire, a werewolf, a bounty hunter. And I love it. And my other favorite one I have to mention is Pasiones de los Pasiones, where you literally get to play out episodes of a Spanish telenovela, and you get to embody these archetypes and caricatures, and it is so funny, so hysterical, so dramatic and over the top, and I love those games. I've played in several more, but those two have a special place in my heart.
Oh, fantastic. I love Pasión de las Pasiones because it's hilarious. Like, it is hilarious. And we had such a great time playing it. So I think that would be a perfect segue. Why don't we hop in really quick to one of our clips? So Zach, or Zach Natius, as he goes by, and you will be seeing Zach as we run a 2-shot of a Passion later this month, is a fantastic master of ceremonies and runs such a great game that it has made the play and the viewing so much fun. So I'm going to start us off by playing a clip called Papa Castillo, as it's starring specifically you, Travis, and Zach, and how a mistake was made, but his awesome GMing skills turned it into a story beat. And that is like an amazing thing to do. So I am going to play this clip, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's cut to the clip.
Take it from there. So as I like look at the, like, we have this sort of impasse, and I just like walk away, and I like turn around and look at my hands and see the clear, but then it fades to like the fairy blood, and I gotta go wash them off, and I'm in the bathroom washing my hands, and I pull out my kerchief and I start drying them off. But as I pull out my kerchief, a letter falls out of my pocket. And my last time is, you uncovered a letter that ties me deeply to someone. And this letter that was given to me, or that I uncovered in the mansion, ties me deeply. I'm actually the illegitimate son of Fernando Castillo.
The vampire? Oh. No.
I think so.
Yeah, the werewolf? So we have a vampire werewolf? Oh,
or am I thinking of the wrong NPC? No, I want it to be...
That's a zoom in.
Oh, the owner of the house, right?
The owner of the house,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Where is he? He's not in our NPC list. Where is he?
He's second column.
Yeah, you gotta scroll.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, yeah, sorry. Illegitimate.
I was like, wow, what a twist.
Is that the wrong NPC?
No, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it for it to be that much of a twist. Oh my God.
I mean,
And that's why I got excited.
Yeah.
So I think that there was.
Everything.
Okay, so what we just saw here was clearly a little slip into the fanfic universe where the letter said, previously on,
that was good.
Clear that it was a confession letter written by someone with a masculine hand, and it cut away before the bottom previously, and so there have been fans that are convinced that your father was Fernando Castillo, and then the shot comes down as the letter falls open in front of you here, and we see that it is in fact Antonio Escalante instead, and there is a scream of rage of part of the fan and vindication from the rest.
The hashtag Papa Castillo on Twitter has gone insane.
I forgot about that.
So
Vindication, baby. Yeah, the Twitterverse is going insane. We went insane.
So that is like a prime example of like we just turned it into a canon, and now we have fanfic of Passion in Travis's character. But as funny as that was, those like little things there we did it alone are hilarious and such a fun time because the system is so malleable, thank you. Yes, because the system is so malleable, you're able to kind of volley back and forth, and even if you're like, there are no mistakes, you just turn them into the fiction, as it's called. So I thought I think that a system is one of my favorites, and we are playing in that later on this month, and I'm jelly because there's not enough space and I couldn't get in because everybody wanted to hop in. So that's going to be our biggest game with 6 players. So congratulations, all of you.
So sorry, I booked that one. That was my first. I was like, first, thank you.
Second, thank you.
I have to play in Passions. That game is just too fun.
I missed my spot last year, so I had to make up for it this year. I'm so sorry, Ricky. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Ricky Sanchez will not be making an appearance this time, or at least not in the form of me playing him anyway, because I believe we are going to do some type of sequel in some shape or form to that last one, because it was a Halloween theme. Of course, there were ghosts, vampires, and all that, and it's still a telenovela, which was hilarious. After seeing that scene, Trav, how did you seeing it back again? What are your thoughts on that?
It's hysterical and also mortifying because you're so confident that you're role playing the right way, and then you just realize you're, a few lines off on the spreadsheet and reading the wrong, character name. But like you said, Zach turned it into a really funny moment and made it canon, and we laugh about it now. And I got to be featured in a video, so hey.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Hey, there she goes. She said it.
One of my favorite. The reason why I love Passion so much is because it's like adult and sexy, just like a telenovela, and you can really like play into that. Maybe I should have mentioned to everyone, this is an 18 plus stream, so you've been warned. But yeah, you really get to dive in there. So this next scene that I want to play is what I call Ricky Sanchez makes his move. And that is the character I was playing, and I love the volley between me and Zach, and getting all the other characters in there, and just seeing everyone when we all realize that you can zoom in and out like a telenovela using that.
I forgot about the zoom out. Yes, that was
which was
so funny.
Hilarious. You'll be seeing it again, everybody. I guarantee it. So I'm gonna go ahead and play a quick clip called "Ricky Sanchez Makes His Move." So let's get that started.
Okay, so we get this awesome like split, like the screen tears, and like as you're speaking to Corazon, we see. Oh wait, no, yeah. So as you're giving the voiceover, like the scene cuts to an over the shoulder shot of Fernando stalking, like emerging from a shadow. That like a flat shadow on the wall. He just fucking walks out of the shadow and begins like stalking Raphael, as you say.
I believe that Raphael may be out for his own interests, and I think that maybe we could benefit one another. If you don't want to lose anything that's rightfully yours, and you cut loose a little bit, why don't you join me in a little plan of mine, as I would like to use my playbook ability called Be Brave. When you challenge a PC to put aside their fears and do something daring, offer them +1 ongoing to seek out that goal. If they take it, hold 2. You can never hold more than 3 on this move. You can spend it to hold 1 for 1 to appear in the scene with them, or give them a -1 on a roll directed at you. And as I say, he's been a thorn in too many sides, and I know you felt what I felt last time we were together. Cut loose for once. Forget about what everyone else thinks. If you want what's rightfully yours, then you gotta take it. And I got plans in motion, as insinuating that the count or the vampire is going to hypnotize Raphael to kind of confess or do something. I'm thinking more so like prove that he may have done it, maybe grab the weapon and like put it in his pocket. I want him to have the weapon without knowing it for some type of big reveal that I have coming up later.
The audience is screaming.
100%.
This is the first time that this scene has finally been alluded to again, all like since the end of last season.
So,
we're
Rob-
talking about the thing again.
Yes, absolutely. So we see Fernando.
Alrighty. So, would that showcase also how you can use the moves in Passions and use it to spice things up. In that scene, I was definitely out to kill Travis's character and get him to bend to my will and all that. And one key thing that I want to press there is that if you look at when Zach is being the master of ceremonies, and he is like your biggest fan, and I think that's really key in being a great GM when it comes to these games, is to be a fan of your players. Like, he's smiling, he's laughing, and he's playing into the story that we're doing and building upon that fiction. So I think that is such a master class in being a GM, especially in these systems like PBTA, which is heavily more on the role play than any kind of mechanics or battle. What are your thoughts on that, LM?
On what in particular?
Just being a GM and kind of being a fan of your players.
I mean, it's one of the core principles of GMing for that game. You want to make sure that when you are taking it from a 10 to an 11, sometimes, passions can rise and things can get really heated. No matter what, you always want to make sure that the player characters are always coming out looking as badass as possible. Of course, they'll have an idea of what they want to do and the storylines they want to follow, but the dice also tell their own story. And as an MC, you want to be a fan of the characters, but sometimes the fiction will tell you what's going to happen, and the dice say something entirely different. And when you are a fan of the players, you still find a way to do your best to yes and, because a miss is not a failure, and that sometimes can get muddled up because in some PBTA games, some games will reward you for rolling a miss, a 6 or below. Some won't. But in Pasión de las Pasiones, it's one of those games where when you are getting like into heated debates, the moves are written in such a way, it's almost like you're getting directions from a director, and you're allowed to, kind of have your cake and eat it a little bit too. So it kind of has, built-in support for the player, so they don't feel like if they roll a miss, it's the end of the world. Like, they'll still get a little bit of something from it. And also, as the master of ceremonies, that's how you're able to keep the drama going, because you never want the drama to get flat. That's how you lose viewers for your telenovela. You know what I mean? That's how you're always introducing that new fake death or that new character that's actually hiding in the closet, peep just open with their eye peeking out. So it's a lot of fun, and you want to follow those story tropes and find new ways to set up the characters to rise up to be those heroes or those villains, because some of these playbooks are downright villainous. I don't know exactly which clips you're going to be showing or what clips you may have left, but yeah, this game can get really spicy. There's some PvP sometimes, in the sense that the characters can sometimes get very you know what I mean?
That's some of the best parts, and
of course, and I love it.
Some of the most dramatic parts, and I just want to echo what you said. That's one of the awesome things about Passion specifically, but all PBTA games, is that you fail forward. Like, the story always continues. There's always more to do, and even if you miss, it's still something dramatic happens, and you get to build off of it. So it's always so much fun.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So, LM, you like I said, have been on the channel, and you've GM'd several different games. One particular game you did that I was a pleasure to be in. Sorry, Travis, I know you hate this. Was Zombie World, and that's a unique card-driven game of PBTA about surviving the zombie apocalypse. So I want to ask you, because it's spooky season, what do you feel makes Zombie World stand out from your traditional PBTA game?
Well, for starters, it's actually a card-based tabletop game, role-playing game, which I think makes it just that much more approachable and that easier to set up. There isn't going to be a big book with a bunch of lore and rules and pages to sift through. It's going to be something that if you are used to playing card games, that they're really easy setup, and there's illustrations, and it's essentially the way that Zombie World works is that it's like you mentioned, spooky season, but it's about survivors that are caught up in the aftermath of a zombie apocalypse, colloquially known as Z-Day. And they're fighting against the living and the restless dead. And because it's a card-based tabletop role-playing game, it actually is designed for easy, quick, and intense play. There's only so number of cards, in the sense that what kind of keeps this game in true nature a Powered by the Apocalypse game is the fact that instead of rolling 2 6-sided dice, you have a set of stats. You are going to have stats like, just quickly in my brain, it's blood, steel. Oh my gosh, sorry. Blood, steel. You have two more awesome.
Heroism.
You're so silly. No. But ultimately, you have these stats that when you're trying to make a basic move in the game, instead of rolling dice, you're going to be drawing cards. You're going to be drawing from what's called a survival deck, and if you're able to draw X amount of cards that you have in that stat. And if you have someone nearby that wants to help you, maybe they can also help draw a couple cards, because there's only so many number of hits, so to speak. It still follows the same kind of rubric as far as drawing something that's considered a miss, a partial hit, and a full success. So what kind of makes this game that much more fun is the fact that when you're creating a character, it literally takes less than 5 minutes to create a survivor. And then all you're really doing is just kind of connecting your characters to each other. How might you know each other? And it's a lot of fun
What are
because
some examples of that? Like, how would you connect your character to someone else? Just like give me an example of like that.
Yeah, so there's a mechanic in the game that basically has you create relationships that are based off a card that you would draw from a fate deck. And those relationships will kind of dictate to you what your past was. It might tell you what kind of relationship you have post zombie apocalypse, or it might tell you what kind of relationship you have before the apocalypse.
Oh, so you could be like, I was a coworker. I was, they were my doctor, that type of stuff. Or like they, picked their forager, they're a silent forager.
So essentially, Zombie World is going to try and push you towards having kind of dramatic connections. It's going to have things more akin to, give me one quick second. Actually, funny enough, I just recently ran a Zombie World game, and I still have the Roll20 game open. So essentially in this game, one of the cards that you might draw for your fate would look like, it might look like the two of you blame each other for the death of an Enclave member. What happened? Or the two of you had a brief but intense blow up. What brought you to conflict? Things like that are going to really push you, bring the drama forward. Because remember, this game is about not just fighting the restless undead, but also fighting the living. Because the dead, they just want to eat your brains. They just want food. But the living, they're calculating. They're always striving for more resources. And sometimes they want what you have, and they're not going to ask nicely. And that's why I love this game.
Okay,
Nice.
cool. And also,
like-
I just want to quickly add, I don't hate it. I'm just not a spooky gay. I'm just not a scary queen like the rest of y'all. I can appreciate it from afar. I like jump scares, which I know are the cheapest scare that everyone agrees, but pop out, and then we're over it, we're laughing, ha ha ha, that's me. I like a quick scare, but I just don't like prolonged dread. So
Valid salad, to each their own, my love.
I love
their
me a
own.
good scare.
So
I think
y'all scare about. I'll be over here in urban fantasy, horror drama.
he's lying to you. So there was one Halloween, like many years ago, when we were still baby gays, and we went to a haunted mansion, and like we were just walking through, and a chainsaw person chased us, and we Scooby-Dooed. Like he ran over me, I didn't ran over him. We were toppling, but we had a grand old time. So
yeah, we screamed as we ran out and toppled into each other.
it was yes, but I have a surprise clip that I will love to show, because we hear all the amazing things that you have, LM, when you bring to Zombie World. But I just want to show everyone just how intricate and amazing like the storytelling in this setting can be, and in general. So I call this clip LM GMs. So we're gonna go with that, and this is a quick minute and a half clip, and we'll see the master in action. So let's take a look.
So here's what happens when you take somebody out, especially an uninfected individual.
Well, he's
Shit
infected, you
stays with-
said, isn't he?
Look at that makeup.
Oh, this is a very good point. I said that his scratch looked infected. I did
And he
not
was covering it up.
And he was covering it up. Yes. But hold on. So his arm, right? He was trying to cover it up. And when you gave him that idea, that whole entire plan, you're going to quickly come to realize that there are stages where people can be saved, because as he stays there and he's like, wait, there's no explosion. Wait,
It's a lot of blood.
And he looks with the first hand that grabs onto his leg. You just hear the sizzling of like the hand like going through the jeans and onto his leg. He's like, what? Wait, you're gonna amputate my arm, dude! And they just like falling on him. Oh, he is most definitely chow down food. You are running, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to stay behind. As you're getting out of there, this actually was one of our lovely, I believe her name is Maya, one of Maya's med students, fellow med
Sound effects and all.
She's been working on something, trying to figure out what the rate of infection is. He was infected, but you feel deep down in your gut, he definitely could have been saved. But you know what? That's not your problem anymore, because at this point, you made it back to the rest of the crew without a gun, but at the very least with the knowledge of what's coming.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, look at the makeup, look at the gore, look at the, music.
Yeah, that the music was in it. And we got makeup. We got. I love how into it you were, and how much fun, because that made it so much fun. You don't know what you're missing, Trav. And like we have an amazing and on the 25th, I believe, like movie special or event thing that you have planned that I'm in. We get to dive in. So what can we expect from this year's spooky zombie world?
I mean, all I can say right now is it's going to be taking place on a farm. And farmhouses are already low-key very spooky. So tack on a bunch of desperate fiending survivors that are, 90 days into the zombie apocalypse, probably have a scarcity of their fixes, aka no alcohol, no cannabis, nothing to take the edge off, just hunger. And just the sound of the dead out there, hungry. It's gonna be something that I think last year when we played, correct me if I'm wrong, but did it not take place in the mall?
Yes, it was the hospital.
The hospital, yes. It was taking place in the hospital. Yes. This is going to be taking place in the same universe. It's going to be giving very much American Horror Story, a bit of an anthology. We're going to have some familiar faces coming back. So same actors, different characters, but same world. So that hospital, while that was taking place, this was off in the distance in a different town, more isolated, more remote, a farm town in a farmhouse. So yeah, all the same intensity and drama. Maybe not quite, maybe different kind of blood. I didn't realize I did it like I overdid it like that.
No, thank you.
But
Should I have done a trigger warning? Sorry.
No, you're so good. I surprised myself. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, same. If anything, the spookiness level is going to be brought up to if it was at a 9 last year, it'll be at an 11 this one. So please stay tuned.
That's giving some stitched together shit. I can't deal.
You like X.
And here's where we introduce the X card.
And yes, and since we'll segue into that,
safety tools are always on the table, I promise.
Yeah. So of course, if you don't know that, there are safety tools that you can use in any system, but you predominantly see it. At least I was introduced to it when I jumped into the Powered by the Apocalypse. You have the X card, where if something is like, nope, I'm gonna get that way back here. You do X card, and the GM, no question asked, will move on to the next scene. There's also lines and veils. So you'll notice a lot of these games, once again, I'll repeat, this is an 18 plus stream, and a lot of these games are 18 plus, are very dark, gritty, and can touch upon some real trauma points. So having lines and veils will let us know, okay, I have a line, meaning that you cannot cross this. I don't want anyone named Alexander, or that's my grandfather's name, or I don't want to deal with anything with people losing any sense of agency, or spiders, things like that. Yeah. And then you have veils, which are just mostly, I'm okay with gore, just don't go too much into the viscera, let's say. Yes, I was looking at you, Travis.
It's me.
And you'll see a lot of these, especially come up in games like Zombie World, and specifically, as you mentioned before, Urban Shadows, which is one of Travis's favorite. And I'm going to ask you some questions about that, Travis, but I'm going to play a clip of you this time. You are on the spot now.
Yay.
Of you running this your Urban Shadows game, and specifically it was a a two-person. You don't really need like 4 people, 3. You can have an amazing storytelling with just a GM and 2 other players. So this one is going to be showing Travis's GM skills, as well as introducing another familiar face to the channel, and you'll be seeing a lot more of her, Marie. That's called Baby Wolf Goes Off. So this is a amazing scene where her wolf character goes and starts tearing apart. So I would like to play that clip for you all. So why don't we go straight to that?
See that there is a small group of vampires that are charging towards him, and that the Lord has made his way to where the sirens are, and he is sort of going to inspect his office where his jewels are. So, but there is a retinue, like 3 vampires that are about to like leap or jump or fire something at Phaedron. You have a chance to intercept those 3 and fight against this small group.
Adrian is going to hear in their mind Dell's voice, not as a wolf. I'm not leaving you. You're my best friend. You're the only family I know. You gave me access to this part of me, and I'm not leaving you. So I hope you're ready for a fight. Call your queen. She owes me a fucking favor.
Baby wolf.
And we'll say, as you say that, you charge up the staircase, and Delaney, you turn to violence against these 3 Roll me your with blood.
All right.
I just have to say, I know I'm biased because I ran the game and played in it and love those characters. But just hearing the drama and hearing the passion from Delaney and from Marie, that player, it was so strong, saying like you're the only one I ever known, the one I love. Like, it's just like, it gets me in it. Like, I hope you all like feel that way too, because it's just so awesome to like experience the like pleasure of role playing and joy and really, embodying the character you want to be. And I feel like that was a great representation of it.
Yes, and those 2 episodes that we had, and of course you can catch all these clips. I'm not trying to give too much away from playing these clips, but you can watch the full things on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at AtaleD20s, and you can see the full action. But that was one of our most watched videos, and because it was so much fun. Marie played an amazing why am I forgetting her name? We just saw it.
Delaney,
thank you. She played an amazing Delaney, and I played Phaedron, who was a fairy or fae, and we had such a great connection, and just being guided by your GMing style and your skills, that really turned into a fantastic story. What do you use to like inspire you or pull or get all those creative juices flowing?
Well, I'm a pop culture anime, queen. So I pull story threads from all places that I see. If it's a show that I'm watching, if it's a book that I'm reading, even if it's just talking sometimes with friends or even with you, we'll just pop off and say something really funny and ridiculous. Actually, I was thinking about it the other day. I can't remember, but like I made like a really funny joke about cheese, and then I was like, I'm gonna make a cheese monster, and then like it was like all about, but it felt like legitimate. So like you can find inspiration anywhere you look for it. It's really easy to sort of feel like you have to be perfect or emulate a book or emulate like the stories, the pre-gens that are written, but you don't. You can sort of just come up with something simple and then let your players also fill it in too. Broad strokes are totally fine in most cases, in most games, especially these. So I say just sort of go what feels fun and interesting, things that are relevant to your life, things that are happening currently that you can joke about, because that's going to allow your players and you to like have fun and funny moments when you play these games and have these moments.
Oh, totally. And I love that, like, we can always push the envelope because of having that session 0, which is, for all of you who don't know, session 0 is that session you have before the actual game where you go over the lines and veils and the safety tools and know what buttons you can push and which one you need to stay away from. And then it allows you to kind of jump in and really build a comfortable environment for everyone. What were you saying, LM? Question, LM?
Yeah, we actually had a question from one of our viewers on Twitch. They were actually asking, is our session 0 going to be recorded, or is that going to be happening off screen?
So some of the session 0s, and I leave it up to the GMs, will be recorded, and it will be up exclusively, well, for now, on our Patreon once we get that all set up and ready to go. But yes, so we will have recorded sessions, and we will be releasing them on our Patreon, so you can see everyone with their what's the term say, like with their robes off, or I don't know. I'm really bad at analogies or those terms, but you can see them with their makeup off. There, that's what I'm saying.
Their wigs off.
The wigs off, whatever. and then getting and seeing how it's developed. We'll see. We'll put it up there. But yes, some of them will be recorded and they will be available for viewage. So thank you for that amazing question. And we will have more details on that at AtaleD20s.com. We'll be posting some of those details as well.
Awesome.
So before I hop in, I just want to do because we're going to be about for another like 15 minutes or so. I just want to remind everyone that we are Atelier 20s and we are raising money for the Trevor Project. You can go ahead and scan the QR code that you currently see on the screen or go to give.thetrevorproject.org/Magpie Madness. And you can enter in the sweepstakes, which we will be giving away many prizes at the end of our stream, and we'll be placing on our website and be reaching out all those who have won. So how do you enter? No purchase necessary. Just if you're on Twitch, you'll earn about 250 viewing points. You'll go ahead and hit one of the I believe there might have been a duplicate on there, so apologies, but either sweepstakes entry or watch for the Trevor Project. And if you submit either one of those, you'll have one ticket in there. And then you can gather that over the course of all of our streams in all October long. Also, by donating $5 in increments of 5 from there, you will also be entered in, you'll be get a ticket. So $10, 2 tickets, $15, 3 tickets. $19, still 3. One more dollar, you'll get 4. And we will go ahead and be handing out books from all these games that you're basically seeing here. So with that being said, there is one person who's currently in the chat that I see, and also a member of the ATOT fam. And I will love to show a clip of his GMing. And that is our very own Zektown. So Zeki last year ran Root, which is a game that I love and fell in love even more and more the more I played. Even my background you see right here is one of the Root maps, clearing as they're called, and it's based off of the board game, and it's a fantastic game. And I would love to ask some questions from LM, who's a master of that as well. But I want to show you a little clip of the woodland creature shenanigans, because you're all little animals, when you dive into Root. So I am going to play a scene called Swarm's Furry Bumblebee, which I specifically wanted to pick this one because remember we talked about making mistakes and but it adds to the fiction. Well, here's another one, and we had PJ, who you've seen on this channel several times, and he does an amazing voice acting job here. And Travis with his gangster lizard just go back and forth with Zeki, who's a French. I'm not going to ruin it. You'll see it. But go ahead. Let's switch right over to this quick clip of Swarm's Furry Bumblebee. Take a watch.
In all seriousness, there's an issue. The tree's under siege. The bugs, they're coming.
What bugs? You telling me about insects?
Insects.
Insects.
Sabine, you would not believe the guts that come out of them. The legs, the carcasses, their wings, they're slimy. They eat our trees and ooze black. They have no respect.
They don't take our tree?
That's what they said. They want to live in the earth, the life tree, the tree of life. They're gonna try and suck its power.
This is his accent.
A swarm.
A
Could you
whole
believe
swarm.
these fucking bugs had the audacity to group up like this in our woods?
A swarm that could be anything from hundreds to thousands.
Yeah, that's why we've been sent here. We're looking for reinforcements. We met
Who
with
sent you here?
Come on, Badger, what's his name? The mayor. And I pull out my notebook. Travis, don't remember, but Fabio would remember his name. Who's the...
I remember his name. His name was Furry Bumblebee.
Furry Bumblebee.
That was his name.
Oh, my good friend Furbean Bubble.
Furbean Babble.
I was like, let me stop laughing before I unmute myself. That is hilarious.
Oh my god, that was my best Tony Soprano. I was trying to be the Dawn Lizard as best I could. That was really funny.
I'm like, what? What?
The bugs are coming.
You wouldn't imagine the guts that come out of them. I'm like, what?
I was clipping this scene. I just like could not stop laughing. I'm just like, keep doing it. It's hilarious. And then PJ's like, I'm really bad at remembering actors' names, but you all know, you can hear the voice that he's doing. But what is it? Into the Shadows or something? The Shadows, that with the vampire show and the someone's
which character? Nadia.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Someone in chat, help us out.
Please. Which vampire from Into the Shadows are we talking about?
No, we're not talking about
the puppies may know.
PJ.
But in any case, he did Kayvon Novak, I believe, is yes.
Who cares? I don't know. I don't know who that actor is. I forget.
It doesn't matter. He played in Andor the Relentless. It's okay. Oh no. Matt Berry. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Matt Berry. Sorry.
Thank
there
you.
we go. Yeah, Matt Berry. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I was like, come on now. Like, that's not it.
Jeez, I'm just like, oh. Anyway, he did an amazing Matt Berry.
Yeah, that was a great accent, by the way.
And
Zeki.
And then with Zeki pulling out the French accent, and there's another clip I was going to put in here, but we don't have much time for me to play every clip. You'll have to check it out. But there's Zeki playing that that French character and hitting on Badger, and it was just such a good back and forth that I thought was hilarious. But that is a little clip of the woodland shenanigans you can get to en route. So, my dear LM, I do want to ask you some questions about the route PBTA RPG games.
Yeah, what's up?
When you play, as we know, it's all about factions and politics and ruling the clearings. What kind of vibe do you go for? Do you lean into the politics, the adventure of it, or a little bit of both?
Oh, most certainly a lot of both. I need to make sure that no matter which player I have at my table, that there's something for everyone. You're going to have some players that are going to go in there and just want to completely go into the full-blown politics of it all. They have very little care for the gold and the trinkets and the treasures. They're more like, I need to kill whoever's in charge and I need to make myself the new mayor. It's like, okay, cool. You're going to fully entrench yourself into the lives of these lovely animals that are gonna be populating this awesome clearing. So when you are playing Root, you are all playing Vagabonds. So for people who've already played the board game, as you had mentioned from our lovely friends over at Leader Games, there's very much still a war going on. So I try to make sure that if I'm going to be using both adventure and politics, that I create enough intrigue and story threads for both those things to be possible. Why can't it be both? Why can't we have the person who is in charge or the person who's the face of the faction? Maybe, for example, the Eerie Dynasty. Why can't that person also happen to have an adventure for some stolen treasure from the opposing faction that's already in that clearing? So that way you can satisfy both those people who want to, get that murder hobo, inkling out of their bodies, but as well as also taking adventure, putting their lives on the line because they're playing a vagabond, so they're well equipped to survive and they have each other. But sometimes characters are going to rise to some really high stakes, and death is something that's on the table. Because if you've played the board game, you know that death is always lurking around if you're not careful. So even though you're really strong, sometimes traps will be set. It depends how gullible sometimes or how short-sighted the vagabonds might be. Sometimes they throw caution to the wind and just go full speed ahead, even though as the GM, you've given them plenty of warnings. That can be the best kind of play, though, especially in a one-shot.
Awesome. And Travis, you are a saint and a scholar and such an awesome friend, hopped in without ever playing. Oh my goodness, this is what I get. And without ever playing Root at Gen Con. So Gen Con, just really quick, is a convention that happens in Indianapolis that Magpie Games has a whole entire section in the Hyatt, and we introduced a new kind of epic game system where it was 8 tables, like 5 players each, playing one huge game of Root. One story. It's extremely fun. We were short a GM, and who stepped in and actually won the competition table was none other than Travis. So I want to say thank you for that. And how was it hopping into Root, first being a player and then being a GM, and how did you feel about the system itself?
Yeah, so, well, first off, thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. I also appreciate the shout out too. It was a lot of fun. It was my first time at Gen Con, like you said, and I was excited to play in a bunch of these games, but there just was this need, and I've played, Root a few times before, but stepping up as a GM is a little scary, especially if you're doing it for paid players at this major event. But if you have experience playing, these types of games where it's very role play heavy, where you can sort of, go on the fly with a lot of it, you're able to sort of pick it up. And so I was able to have a great experience. Plus, I do, I am, feigning a little bit. I do have, 10, 15 years of D&D experience and other GMing experience. So it's not like I'm ignorant of how to GM. I just didn't have this system 100% under my belt, but we, followed the rules as best we could. And shout out to you for putting together player packets and GM packets to make the experience seamless. And it was a lot of fun. My players, literally one of them said to me, they were like, this is the highlight of Gen Con. I'm excited. I've been dying to play in this game. And after the game ended, I was like, did we live up to your expectations? And they were like, absolutely. I can't wait to tell my friends about it. And that's the best compliment I could have possibly gotten. So it was a lot of fun. And yeah, Root was a great system to play. Like you said, you're crazy woodland vagabonds that are trying to, hurt or help the bourgeoisie or the woodlands. And it just so happened that my people did it the best.
It was an awesome time, and you'll be seeing guys, as a quick plug for Magpie Games, if you're going to Gen Con, which you definitely should go. It's an awesome, huge convention in Annapolis in August, all about TTRPG gaming. You'll see that we're going to be having more of these type of epic games and more fun times. So definitely stop by because it's awesome to play these games, and we have awesome stuff.
If you're going to meet us at Gen Con next year, come meet us at PAX Unplugged this year. It's happening the week before Thanksgiving. It's normally in December, but this time it's in mid-November, the week before Thanksgiving. I don't have a calendar up in front of me. Sorry, it's the 20th, the weekend of the 20th. So if you're in Philadelphia and you want to meet up and share stories, let us know, or come meet us and, play in one of our games. So shout out to that too.
Yeah, Todd will be there and we'll be playing, and we have a hell of a good time. So I know we are getting to the last bit of the stream, and there is one game that I have not mentioned yet that is probably my favorite. And I've had the pleasure to GM this game and create my own version of it, and that is Mask New Generation. And specifically, and you'll see, here's a little plug on the future, we have created a tarot version of it utilizing the tarot cards, and we'll be releasing a multi-season episode pre-recorded coming November about these wacky teenagers. Well, I don't say wacky, these dramatic teenagers who have to both juggle being superheroes and going to school and chores and all sort of mess, and parents being supervillains and all that stuff. Not gonna give any spoilers on that, but the person who taught me what I know about Mask and did his own epic of it were at Gen Con is none other than LM. So, LM, before I go into this next clip, I want to know, what is your favorite thing about running Mask, and what can you tell us that makes Mask kind of like this like staple when it comes to PBTA games?
I mean, first of all, thank you so much for that shout out. Masks is an awesome game. You have to me for a loop there. I think that Masks: A New Generation is such an awesome game, and it's just staple for Powered by the Apocalypse because it's basically everyone's fantasy come to life. Haven't we all really like once thought about, what if I could have a superpower?
Yes.
And what would I do if I had that? But of course, we end up growing up and become adults and, go lead lives that have a lot of responsibility. But this game lets you kind of role play, what if you were a teenage superhero? Because sure, if you were an adult superhero, you could have all your together. But when you're a teenager, especially when you're growing up in a city as awesome as Halcyon City, which is known as the greatest city in the world, there's already been 4 previous generations of superheroes. So it's kind of almost literally all been said and done. They've already dealt with alien invasions. They already dealt with robots smashing down Main Street. Your mom, thinking that your grades need work, and your mentor thinking that your team is bringing you down. But what really makes this unique is the fact that no matter what different story tropes you're going through, whether you've seen them through a comic book lens or on a TV show or a movie, because there's so much superhero media out there, this lets you kind of go back to a make-believe time where you can be a bit more vulnerable and you can maybe be a bit more cathartic than maybe some other games where you are playing a well-rounded adult. This game allows you to revel in the complexities of what it means to be a teenager that doesn't have all your shit together and is still figuring their life out, or maybe their powers. So I think the reason why I love this game so much is because it is really near and dear to me. I think that some of my best GMing and some of my best improvisation comes in this game. I literally use every single thing that I see in life and in my downtime as inspiration for any and all future games. So I think that it's really approachable. It's a really great media that I think a lot of people are interested in and still really vibe with. So whether you are brand new to tabletop role-playing games or a seasoned pro from different systems, I think that Masks: A New Generation is a really awesome, approachable game and really highlights how Magpie Games really stands out at creating exceptional tabletop role-playing experiences.
Awesome. And before we get into our last clip, Trav, as you were commenting before, who wouldn't want to hop into be a superhero? What are the things that you enjoy about Mask that's different from, as you were saying before, we've came from a D&D environment and got into this PBTA and was sucked in by Mask. What is it about it that drew you in?
So masks, LM sort of alluded to it by saying like it's your fantasy, and it like really is. You're not going to tell me that, in today's culture, growing up on, Superman, Batman, all DC, Marvel heroes, X-Men, that you didn't want to be one of them. And in masks, you can be one of them, and it adds the layer of like being a teenager. And that sometimes people are like, I don't want to be a teenager again, but like what that really does is it allows you to play through like crazy emotions and have these really big swings and have really high highs and really low lows. And like that's, if you're role playing, like that's what you're in it for, like that's what you want. And like you can be so dramatic. And like, of course, like, yes, my parents were, Miss Scarlet and Mr. what was it, Mr. Weird and the Scarlet Mage. Yeah, I did have, my parents were, copies of Doctor Strange and Wanda, and I was a sorcerer love child of those. Of course, I got to live out my greatest fantasy and be the wizard I wanted to be, always, dreamed to be. So like, that's what pulled me in about like masks. And like, like LM said, if you're crazy and you want to try something and you fail, like, oops, I rolled a 4 trying to do that. Well, shit, now the GM gets to explain how my crazy powers did something, and like we get to live through it. And like, it's fun and cool. And like, what's not to love? Like, it's just awesome. It's what you make of it, honestly. And I feel like it's, the world's your oyster with masks.
Oh, totally. So, in Mass, there's an amazing thing that like every PBTA game has its own like separate like big moment, big power, and specifically in Mass, there's the moment of truth where you get to take full liberty and do your best like superhero scene. So in this one in Tarot, with full costume, I mean everyone was, but full costume, lights, wig, it gave you everything, gave you life. I'm going to play something called Enchanter's Moment of Truth, where LM went ahead and described, and this is the kind of awesome gameplay you get and stories that you can tell for that. So let's go ahead and hop right in and play that clip.
If it's okay with you, I think that when Enchanter takes Hoax's hands and he says everything he said in the fiction, the Nova's moment of truth is as follows. Your mind's eye opens and you can see the world around you like never before. You can control it at will with ease. Of course, warping reality tends to have ramifications on the line, but in your moment of godhood, how could you possibly be worried? And I think in that moment, when it says his mind's eye opens, he opens his eyes to all the bullshit of the jester, and he says, "This is just an illusion. It's not real. We have to get out of here." When he blinks again, he's no longer like, I think as he was talking, he was maybe like aging up again to his proper like age of like, I think he was like 16. But like our scenario, like our reality around us, like you said, we were trapped back at home. Our dad was yelling at us, right?
Yep.
I think that the floorboards start to slowly like dematerialize and the room starts to spin. And our dad starts to slowly be like whisked away like a construct that he was, the jester's construct. And all of our background starts to materialize where we really are. Back where we were before we got pulled into that illusion and ripped away from our friend. And then once we feel like we're no longer like trapped back at where we were in our home, hearing our dad talk to us, I'm gonna blink a couple times and look around and be like, "We did it. We're back. We're back." And he leans in and gives him a hug.
Wow.
That was our dad, Mr. Weird.
Yep.
Awesome job. Like you rolled low and we're like, you know what, I'm gonna use, and you only get one time to do it, so why not make it big? And you explained that scene so well, and like took the reins as what that moment of truth allows you and encourages you to do as a player. And Travis, you and LM, both of you created such great characters, and that were like brothers, and I thought you guys made a fantastic story. But LM, what can you tell us about that scene? What drew that out in you and inspired you for that?
I mean, my fellow scene partners are a huge inspiration for me. Sometimes I feel like the role play comes out so natural when you're given something to work off of. And I think that game had two really awesome fellow role players. We had Travis, and then we also had the lovely individual who was Rachel, thank you. Rachel, who was playing Crucible, and that was just a badass bull. Hope she's doing well. But yeah, that was an awesome crew. And feeding off of their energy and just like digging deep and kind of, when you use a moment of truth, you kind of want it to think of like, if you're watching a TV show, what happens in that moment when it reaches a climax? Like it should feel cinematic. It should feel like, because the player gets so much agency. That's one of the also other things that we love about PBTA, is just how much agency the players get in the games. You as also the GM created an awesome and visceral world that also made it feel very easy for me to get into the mindset of my character and allowed and facilitated for that awesome role playing. So thank you. It was a mixture of everyone's awesomeness.
You're welcome.
So humble, I swear.
And kind and easy to work with. And can I also just say that like it's also therapeutic in all seriousness, like playing and role playing through some of these things. So like in that moment, we were like brothers, and our parents were, you know, clearly had, hey, he was the favorite child, and they were chastising and scolding me for things that were not my doing, and he was standing up for me. And like you get to like sometimes play through like inadvertent like real life scenarios or real life adjacent scenarios that are feels cathartic, to be quite honest. And so like that was really, you know, really enjoyable too. And that's another wonderful thing about, you know, playing with people you trust and good people. So I just wanted to echo that sentiment as well.
I completely forgot just how awesome Masks is, in the sense that the playbooks that the players are choosing will always dictate the kind of drama and vibes that particular campaign will kind of forecast. And I was playing a Nova, which is like this font of power kind of character, and you were playing the Joined, which is purposefully the literal Wonder Twins. You were the bucket of water to my eagle. So I completely understand, metaphorically, not actually. You were kind of like in the shadows of my character, and that was really uncomfortable for both of us. That was I've never had that kind of role playing relationship before. It definitely flexed some unintentional middle child sibling muscles. So yeah. For sure. That was awesome.
Oh yeah. And like, yeah, I just love Mass because like it can bring the drama. I mean, you can get drama and everything, but like you're a teenager, you're full of hormones, you're gonna be dramatic. It's gonna be like all this like angst and everything. And you know, here at early 20s, we do drama. So it's just like literally one of my favorites. And we are definitely going to be playing some Masks. You can catch all of the event lists over at atld20s.com/events. There it will be a calendar, and you can see when the games are, and you can chime in, and we may even get more games coming as we hop in there as schedules open up. But we do have a stacked game. We have I believe our next big game is Monday, when we're hopping into a Root Halloween special. which is going to be a fun one. We got everyone in there. And then we got some Urban Shadows, a 4-shotter. So that's going to be fun and going there. And then the list will go on and on. But that is all the time we have today. I want to thank everyone who joining us, who's watching this live, who is watching this on VTT afterward. I say VTT, oh my goodness, who's watching this video on demand afterwards, VOD, yes, as well as the amazing cast / co-hosts that I have here. So thank you so much, Travis, as always, for helping me set this all up and getting together, and just being a player and an amazing GM and co-owner here at Tilly 20s. And then, of course, LM, thank you for joining, explaining everything that is Magpie, and like bringing just the spirit of the magpie bird to all of us and letting us soar off your wings. I'm just trying to say something cute and you get what I'm saying.
Click it, cut it.
that was too kind. You're too sweet. Oh, you're a saint. Thank you so much, Omar, for asking to have me here. I appreciate it, and both of you are a treasure. So I'm definitely looking forward to not just running some games for y'all, but also being in some games with all of you.
I can't wait to play this month. I'm super excited as well. Thanks for having me today.
Of course. Once again, everyone, we're doing this not only for fun. We are rolling dice to raise money for the Trevor Project. So please go to give.thetrevorproject.org/Magpie Madness and donate. And if you watch and donate, you could be entered into a chance to get these amazing games that we are talking about. And then you can look at our videos to see how to play and just have an awesome time. Just some quick things that are coming up. Don't forget, after October, we continue to dive right in because we're back again, and we're not going away. So we're going to be jumping into some special games that you'll see Marie, who's in the chat and also on our channel as well, will be running soon in the November-December timeframe. We have the release of Mass Tarot, the actual full-on campaign that everyone who's here and Marie is in, as well as we might have some guest stars pop in there. So it's going to be our amazing pre-recorded show that we're going to have, and then we're going to continue rolling. In November, we're continuing with our charity with A Tale of Hearts and Homes over the holidays, still to the Trevor Project, but we will not limit it to just PBTA. We're playing a whole bunch of things, and you're going to see a lot of other creators hop in as well for that. So all of this amazingness you can catch on youtube.com/@ATaleD20s or twitch.tv/ATaleD20s, or just go to our website, ATaleD20s.com, so you could be up to speed, and you can follow us on all the socials and get all of the latest news. So, LM, do you have any socials or anything to share before we head off?
Yes, I do. On top of me running these awesome games, Zombie World for the Trevor Project, I also am running some games for the CPP. So if you want to see any other kind of games that are of the not spooky variety, you can check my page out over at magpiegames.com/pages/Louis I'm going to link it into the Twitch chat right now. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. And how about you, Trav?
You can find me at OMG It's Travi or Zendaric, and you will see me here later on in the streams playing in lots of these games or being a showrunner behind the scenes, keeping it flowing. And I did post a link in our chat, the Give to the Trevor Project, and I just want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to those who have donated and already kickstarted. Yes. That's towards our goal. Mary P thank you very much for your donation. That means so much. And Steve B, thank you very much for your donation as well. I appreciate that so much. And you guys are our first donators and bring us up to $100 as we try to make it to our goal of $1,000 this year. And I really appreciate that. It means a lot to us here. And you've really given us something to be excited for the kickoff of this Magpie Madness. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you for those who donated. Thank you, everyone, for watching. My name is Omar, aka the Tail Weaver. Of course, you can find me here at Tail Weaver Omar on all socials, or at a Tail D20s. And I'm super excited for what the future will bring. So, with that being said, from the first chapter to the last page, everyone be kind to one another, spread love, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone, and enjoy the Magpie Madness.
Magpie Madness.